Everyone, Zeddy here again with another Titans card review. We have 3 Mage minions revealed, and it looks like elementals are back. There's like a whole miracle aspect. There's, of course, mana cheat. We gotta have mana cheat in Hearthstone. We're gonna go over all that, as well as a reminder we have our giveaway going on of 2 regular pre-orders, and wait, 3 mega bundles as we hit 71,000 subscribers. So thank you all for that. If we somehow hit 72,000 subs by like the next few days, we'll add another mega bundle. Probably not going to happen. But anyways, if you want to enter that giveaway, like, comment in the video description below, be subscribed to the channel, and thank you all so much for your insane support. So, Mage, getting, by the way, 3 cards, not 1 Discover. That is shocking, but there's 5 more Mage cards to come later today, so stay tuned for that. But our first one we have here is Chillo-Matic, a 2-mana 2/3 mech for Mage, and we do know that Mech Mage has been an archetype all the way back to GVG. Again, we had it with the Voyage to Sunken City as well. Hasn't been super relevant in Standard for some time, but it's getting a little bit more support here with this mech, and it has magnetic, freeze any character damaged by this minion. So it's almost like the old chugga chugga chugga, right? Snow chugger. That's basically what this is, except it has magnetic. It's basically just better. Isn't that classic power creep in Hearthstone? I'll have to tweet that after I'm done this video. But yeah, is that good? Well, Snow Chugger was a good card back in 2014, all the way back then. Hasn't been super meta relevant in a long time, but you slap this onto something you're facing, like in Wild at least, Kingsbane Rogue or Questline Druid. It's pretty good, always freezing them in those mech decks. That could be solid. You put this onto the shark that deals random damage, that will randomly freeze stuff for everything it hits. So that can freeze the entire board now in Mech Mage, which is not bad at all, right? And you can, of course, discount this with your either the 1-drop that makes your next mech cost 1 less, or the 3-mana draw spell that discounts all mechs in your hand, and you draw 1 as well. So there is some like potential synergies for this. Is that going to be enough to put Mech Mage back over the top? Well, considering that they do these reveals in packages, I don't expect a lot more mech support. The next 5 cards is possible, but it's a decent card. Mech Mage would probably play it. I don't see why not. It's a pretty cheap magnetic you could discount. Just Mech Mage isn't super relevant, right? In either Standard or Wild right now. It's like a fringe tier 3, tier 4 deck. But I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in Standard or Wild. I think mech decks will play this. I don't see really why not. Freezing something is good, especially when you can slap it onto whatever mech's on the board, and it's relatively cheap. It's stats, and again, you can do some pretty cool stuff with like freezing the entire board with your, I can't remember the name of that card, Mecha Shark. It can be pretty ridiculous. I will give it a 3 in both formats, but I don't really expect Mech Mage to really make a big comeback unless the next 5 cards actually do have a lot more support. But it's a decent card, at least, so I will give it that. Next, we have 2 elemental cards, both of which seem very good. Again, just don't know. It's the theme of this expansion. Is there enough support for these cards to matter? We have the Aqua Archivist, a 2-mana 2/2 elemental battle cry. The next elemental you play costs 2 less, and they've just completely gone away from the next you play this turn. It used to be what it is. Now you can just bank this, so you could play Aqua Archivist, save that mana cheat, and then play more expensive elemental later. If you brand it, I believe it should stack, where it'd be 4 less. That's Wild exclusive, of course. And if you take a look, what elementals do I want to cheat out? If you're looking at Standard, there really isn't a ton that look great. Vexalis is probably the one you're going to look at the most. You get that out for 3, and you can do some pretty gross stuff with your arcane spells, possibly setting up an OTK style of deck. But copying this up doesn't really work because it just, I don't believe it doubles. It just says spells cast twice. It shouldn't double that up. Like, it's like brand, your battle cries go twice. You play 2 brands, that doesn't work. If you play 3 in battlegrounds, they combine and it works. Not so much for standard. But you see the, you know, you can cheat out Vixalis, which is not bad. Could set up some stuff, but I don't think you really care about cheating out any of this other stuff. And we take a look at neutrals right now. There isn't a ton. Ragnaros on 6, though. That's pretty pog. Neptulon on 8. You could cheat out, you know, maybe Tar Creeper, Reef Walker, get that forge value with Melted Maker. But overall, there just doesn't seem to be a ton. I really can think of, like, you can just go for the tempo plays of, like, Rolling Stone or Bubbler, I guess. But overall, like, it's free mana, it's free real estate, right? It's fine. It's just there's not a ton of support in standard unless we're seeing more cards later today. I'm gonna give it the same style of rating as the Mech, though, where as a standalone card, it's really solid. It's really good. It's basically free. It's not a 2/3, so it doesn't feel as good just to play on curve. But the fact that you can play Aqua Archivist into Aqua Archivist into another 2-drop, like on turn 2, if you have that, is pretty insane tempo. And the second, like, the elemental support is there, then there's another card to go with this. It's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 in standard, 3 out of 5 in wild, where there's a lot more elementals. You got like Firefly, Zephyrus, that counts. That is an elemental, so there's a lot more going on. I mean, if we take a look at we can take a look at Mage elementals in wild very quickly, can get a better idea of what shenanigans you could pull off. Like Amplified Snow Flurry is pretty good. Pyros is pretty sick. Shinvala, allow yourself some plays. There's some way more elementals in wild. Hell, Animated Avalanche meta, where if you played an elemental last turn, summon a copy of this, you can do that for 6 mana. But there's also a spell in wild that lets you 0 mana fire spell play an elemental for 2 less, like that turn. So, and that doesn't really see play. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in standard, a 2 out of 5 in wild, but I do think that, you know, mana cheat you can't sleep on, especially with a tag like this, and it has a shot, especially when we're taking a look at this last card. And that last card is Unchained Gladiator, a 4 mana, 4/4 elemental, battle cry, draw a card. Azure Drake, really upset somewhere. Remember back in the day, 5 mana, 4/4, draw a card, and get spell damage, which was relevant, like Backstab, Fan of Knives, all that stuff. It was very roguish. But yeah, now you're just getting that on a 4/4. Straight up. Battle Cry, draw a card. However, this repeats for each elemental you played last turn. We've seen this elemental mechanic before. Particular, I think it was the grand finale, where if you played a bunch of elementals, you would summon 8/8s. We just took a look at that avalanche card, where if you played an elemental the prior turn, you get a 7/6, another one. And with this one, it's just, you played one elemental the prior turn, you draw 2 cards. That's really solid, and then it just gets better from there. So let's say the prior turn, I played Aqua Archivist, and just leave it at that. This draws 3 cards for 4 mana. Like, that's really good on its own, and you can do even more busted stuff. In wild, you have like Firefly, the flame elemental stuff, where you can play a bunch of little cheap guys and draw like your deck almost. Like, that's pretty good. It's like Gadgetson Auctioneer, except you have to set it up, but it's only 4 mana. And that's pretty solid. Does it go into any existing archetype that I could think of? No, but it might be worth building around that little package to get those elementals to draw stuff out. But again, it's the theme of the expansion. Really busted cards with limited support. And we're taking a look again at standard elementals. Like, the good stuff to try and play to get this is like your Flame Geyser, which can get you a flame elemental. Synthesize can give you a bunch of cheap elementals. Arcane Artificer, of course. In the neutrals, you have like the Mistake and all of that. We already took a look. Bubbler, a lot of cheap, really kind of crappy cards you'd have to run to fuel this. So I don't know as a standalone card if it's gonna work, but 4 mana 4/4 draw card baseline is like pretty good. and you're getting even more upside with it if you're playing elementals. It's another card where I can't give it less than a 3 in standard and wild, but again, I don't see the deck where it's really going to take off quite yet. But really scary stuff if there's enough support, that much card draw, that much mana cheat. Look out for that. So there's 5 more mage cards coming out in a couple of hours. We'll have another video, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.